The movie starts and shows a man, named Jim, is curled up on a couch, eating snacks while engrossed in a television show. He's watched the show so many times that he can memorize the dialogue and interprets the on-screen interactions as a reflection of real people's actions. Suddenly, Jim finds a prize toy inside his snack pack. Filled with excitement, he places the toy carefully on a shelf that already has previously displayed treasure measures from snack boxes. The scene changes to reveal Jimmy Center, a museum run by vigilant cyborgs. The lead cyborg takes center stage, giving a thorough explanation of the museum and its displays. Inside, a variety of household appliances that were once used by humans are carefully displayed, giving the cyborgs important insights into human lifestyles. The museum also includes complex mods of railway lines and symbols from human traffic systems, which enhance the cyborgs' comprehension of the complexities and developments of human civilization. Afterwards, the cyborg leads the group to their most popular exhibit, where it is revealed that Jim is the only human who was raised in the closed space. The cyborgs greet Jim with warmth, and he answers blissfully, not realizing the true meaning of his existence. For him, the confinement is his home, complete with a cozy living room, a bedroom, and a bathroom. At this point, the cyborg leader informs Jim that they will be having a guest at their exhibit that evening, stressing the value of his getting ready for meeting a female visitor. At first, Jim finds it difficult to remember the idea of a female, but over time, the memory returns and he grows more excited to meet her. After making his preparations, he gets on his exercise bike and painstakingly brushes his teeth before repeatedly acting out dialogue he has learned from movies in the hopes of impressing her. Jim takes a long shower, being very careful to lavishly apply body splash even to his intimate areas. He also dresses elegantly, making sure he looks his best for their encounter, which is filled with apprehensive excitement. Jim waits for Cass, the gorgeous girl who is introduced to the apartment, to arrive. Jim thinks it would be the ideal way to greet her warmly and kindly, so he starts reciting lines from his favorite movie. But Cass gets very agitated and starts looking around the house in a desperate attempt to find an escape route because she has been taken prisoner by the outside world. Unbeknownst to Jim, he tries to showcase by giving her a quick tour of his apartment and proudly displaying his collection of priceless toys and childhood photos. Jim obviously has some arrangements for Cass's arrival when she ventures into the bedroom and finds a bed covered in rose petals. It's crucial to note that Jim hasn't learned social skills from the shows he has watched. Cass notices that the cyborgs are watching them communicate. When Jim introduces himself and reveals that he is a fellow human, Cass is taken aback and learns that she is not alone in this strange environment, experiencing a wave of emotions. Through the windows, leading her to quickly take cover behind a nearby wall. Turning to face Jim, Cass asks for his help in figuring out how to escape their captivity. She tells him to speak quietly and emphasizes that the cyborgs are keeping an eye on everything they do. Jim is filled with pride as he lists all the amazing things he has in the apartment, like an elongated couch and a television with 5 more channels. He also brags about getting free meals and energy drinks every day, but Cass is not impressed with Jim's interpretation of amazing things. She tries her hardest, and Jim tries to comfort her by giving her a rose at supper time. Jim and Cass sit down at the table, and Jim uses an oven to preheat a fake lunch for Cass. And starts eating his share of the food, but Cass finds the smell disgusting and expresses her disgust. She watches Jim enjoying his meal and wonders if he's ever left their current surroundings. She asks Jim to smell the food in an attempt to send a more meaningful message, but Jim doesn't understand her. Irritated and demoralized when the cyborgs continue to watch them, Cass becomes enraged and turns to confront Jim. She ventures to inform him of the artificial nature of their surroundings, explaining that nothing inside is real, the food doesn't taste as good as it looks, and the staircase goes nowhere. But Cass pushes back against his interrogation of why she would consider sharing a bed with him. Then, in an unexpected turn of events, Jim proposes that they have a sexual encounter. Cass freezes in shock and firmly declares her firm refusal to participate in such an act with him, sending him, furious and frustrated, off to his own bedroom. In the middle of the night, Jim gets a blanket and softly covers Cass. Additionally, he goes above and beyond by bringing his treasured cereal puzzle and placing it next to her, offering her company. Later, when Jim awakens, he is initially disappointed to see his toys gone, but his disappointment soon fades when he lays eyes on an artistic creation Cass has made, explaining that the scenery depicted on the glass represents her true home and what the outside world really looks like. Cass awakens and finds the thoughtfully placed toy next to her. This gives her an idea and prompts her to use the prize toys to fashion a scenic landscape on the glass window. Jim tries to console her by placing an artificial tree into his living room and insisting that the flat they reside in is his home and that she may think of it as her home as well. He has also learned from her image. Cass explains calmly that humans are not meant to live with cyborgs and that artificial confinement is not where humans belong. The next morning at breakfast, Jim uses a plant as a barrier to deceive people and takes advantage of the chance to discreetly confide in every few days. A visitor pushes a cart through the main door, revealing a secret escape route from the flat that Cass shares. Cass can conceal herself in the cart without being noticed. This implies that Jim will be stuck within the museum because the vehicle can only fit one person who is voicing concerns. Jim argues that he is happy and comfortable with his current condition, despite Cass's nervous assertions that he does not belong in the artificial world. Jim begs Cass not to worry about him and to make sure she returns home safely as night sets. The next day, the supervising cyborg approaches Jim and asks where the female human is. Jim denies knowing where she is. A cyborg arrives with a cart to restock the fridge. Cass carefully places herself inside the cart, evading notice, and is silently transported outside without anyone knowing. Again in the next scene, the guide introduces Jim to a group of cyborgs during the next museum tour, but as the couch suddenly moves, it shows a tied-up cyborg, and it's clear that Jim has cleverly planned his own escape. In the last scene, we see Jim walking toward a girl who is standing in a field that strikingly resembles the scenery Cass had painted. Thanks for watching. If you like the video guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such content.